But just to be clear, you agree that white nationalists should not be serving in the US military. Is that what you're saying?
If people think that a white nationalist is a racist, I agree with that. I agree they should. A
white nationalist is someone who believes that the white race is superior to other races.
Well, that's some people's opinion. And I don't think,
That's not
a lot.
opinion.
Pardon?
What's your opinion?
My opinion of a white nationalist, if somebody wants to call him white nationalist, to me is an American. It's an American. Now, if that white nationalist is a racist, I'm totally against anything that they want to do because I am 110% against racism.
It's a bold stance. I'm okay with the KKK, but if a KKK member is also a racist, then I'm against them. Bold stance, Senator. I love his point. Is like, she says it means that they're racist. It means that they think that they're better than non-white people. And he says that's some people's opinion. Yeah, the white nationalists' opinion. That's what makes them white nationalists. He's a senator, and I am not going to pretend, as some people in the media might, that senators generally are particularly intelligent people. I'm not going to pretend that they're better than you or I. We were supposed to believe that. We were led to believe that, raised on that sort of thing, but it's been pretty proven to be not true. That said, even with the low bar that I think most people still have for members of the Senate, this is a particularly awful, racist, stupid person. He did have more to say about it, though. Take a look at this.
But that's not identity politics. You said a white nationalist is an American.
It is identity politics.
You said a white nationalist is an American, but a white nationalist is someone who believes horrific things. Do you really think that's someone who should be serving in the military?
Well, that's just a name that has been given. I mean,
it's not. It's a real definition. There's real concerns about extremism.
So if you're going to do away with most white people in this country out of the military, we got huge problems.
It's not. Huge problems. It's not people who are white. It's white nationalists
that have a few probably different beliefs.
Right?
That have different beliefs. Now, if racism is one of those beliefs, I'm totally against it. I am totally against racism.
But
there's a lot of people that believe in different things.
Is racist, Senator.
Well, that's your opinion.
Okay, so again, it's him really revealing something when she points out that like maybe people who don't believe that by virtue of the race they were born into, they are superior in all ways to other people. Maybe they shouldn't serve in the military. And he says, well, what are we gonna do? Get rid of all white people? No, because I don't believe that every white person is a white nationalist, but you are sending strong signals that you believe that, sir. And super apologetic towards people for small differences of opinion. I don't personally believe that thinking you're superior to everyone else is a small thing. I feel like it's pretty foundational, pretty core and concerning, especially when you're talking about people who are literally being trained to fight, getting access to weapons, maybe being involved with our nukes. Maybe that's not the safest thing in the world, Jessica, but what do you think?
I think it's possible he thought that it was just a nationalist who happened to be white and that's what they were talking about. No, I think it's pretty clear that he knew exactly what he meant by white nationalists, that the country should be run by and for people who are white, presumably men as well, knowing Senator Tuberville. But there's a brand of racism where they don't believe they're being racist because they don't think it's racist if you just think, yes, they're also humans and they have a right to exist. But to have this kind of hierarchical structure where white people are at the top, they're fine with that. They think racism is only when you take away people's rights or see them as less than human because of their race. There's definitely a spectrum of racism where some things are worse than others to treat other people in that way. It is still racist to believe that only white people should be running the country. It's not just that you see them also as human beings.
100%, yes. And look, we have to decide where on that spectrum he goes based on what we saw in that video. But I am going to stack the deck just a little bit. I'm gonna play a bit of video for you. This is from last October. This is the senator talking about crime. And I want you to listen to this and see what you think he actually thinks about race.
They're pro-crime. They want crime. They want crime because they want to take over what you got. They want to control what you have. They want reparation because they think the people that do the crime are owed that. They are not owed that.
They want reparations because the people who do crime are owed that. Do I need to connect the dots? I feel like they're bumping shoulders at this point. I don't think that's complicated to figure out. Jesus. Anyway, that's a guy who's a senator. That's a guy with power and influence. As a final, before we move on, he's using that influence right now. He's blocking the appointment of a new head of the Marine Corps. It has been 164 years since the Marine Corps went without a leader. And thanks to that guy who has big thoughts about the military and race, doesn't think that they need one. So that's fun. It's great to have a Senate. It's great to have the best deliberative body in the history of the world.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.